I think I've officially had enough of Spotify. I'm so fed up with them now.
You gonna come to the dark side?
What, you mean piracy? No. I would never do such a thing. I care about the artists, unlike Spotify, because I'm paying more, they're giving me less, and of course, they're making their entire business in a horrible way. And honestly, because of this entire thing and how angry Spotify's been making me, I decided to go on a little bit of a journey, and hoo boy, did I learn a lot about Spotify and the music industry. So buckle up, Robyn. You're about to hear some crazy stuff.
I can't wait for you to justify my stance on piracy. This is gonna be great.
No, do not pirate. That's not the point. You gotta give the artists their dollary dues in an ethical manner.
I do, by buying their merchandise.
Okay, fine. That can count. But no, Robyn, it goes beyond just supporting your artists. It really is becoming to the point where I think Spotify has nothing else better to do but be horrible. Because I, for context, was a Spotify diehard. We've even done an episode where we showed off my Spotify Wrapped, right? Showing off how amazing my Spotify Wrapped is. And possibly that's like the only good thing Spotify's ever created. I mean, you know, that's the only flex I got for it.
Yeah, but I also had my cute little piracy wrap, so... And YouTube has their own wrap at this point. It's not special.
Wrap? Who even cares about them anymore? Because I have become so in tuned with what the artists want, because I've been seeing Spotify fuck these artists over left and right. Hell, not even just Spotify, but the music industry as a whole. And I think Spotify is at the center of it all, because they could actually do something good about it, but they choose not to, which is why I made this entire presentation for your eyes to behold. Because this is why Spotify sucks and why you should probably delete it and unsubscribe.
I like the little devil horns. It's cute. Slay.
Oh, thank
Slay,
you.
evil Spotify. No,
Thank
not you.
What? Excuse me? Are you going to chastise Spotify when it's done so much harm to our world? Here, you know what?
I think you're using the word chastise wrong. Chastise means to punish. You mean it in a complimentary way. Learn English.
How about I teach you instead about Spotify? Because let's start from the beginning, right? Let's start
You
from the
can't
beginning.
teach me about English.
Shut up! I don't know English, okay?
Okay, I will
Bing, bing,
silence.
bong.
Speak your truth.
This is my truth, okay? Let's start with where this all began, okay? We got to get some context before we decide to trash Spotify and everything it's been doing. Because it all started with this little guy. Before there was Spotify, before there was actually any streaming service, there was your good old friend, Napster. AKA piracy. Because once music became a digital format, it was a free-for-all. Because you can just download an MP3 from little Napster here, or even LimeWire was another classic one, and just get whatever music you want. If you wanted to listen to Nickelback, just hope you download the right file instead of downloading Rick Astley's mislabeled song. So, you know, it was a shit show back then, but it was what started this all. Of course, the unfortunate thing was Napster was a bit of a pirate. You know, it was a free-for-all on the internet, and that put them into a bit of trouble because in 2002, they officially were deemed illegal, and they were fined by the music industry over like $1 billion in damages. I'm not even kidding you. I forgot the exact number, but they were like, yeah, you owe us this much money. But then the court's like, okay, maybe not that much, but maybe like around 100 million. You know, that seems a bit more reasonable. And sadly, that was enough to get them into bankruptcy. So they filed for bankruptcy because they couldn't survive. And oh boy, the music industry, they were so happy to see this little cat gone. So happy,
Not
in fact.
The JoJo moment.
Oh, trust me. They made sure that this cat was intimidated because they made sure this cat would never walk again.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna lassie the cat.
Yeah, as you can see, the cat did not survive. Napster was shot dead in broad daylight and nobody cared because, unfortunately speaking, the cat was a pirate. This is what happens, Robyn. This is what happens to pirates.
I thought my PowerPoint presentations were crazy. Like, I've told my family about this podcast, and one time I was talking about it with my uncle. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've been told it's a little raunchy," and I'm sitting here like, "Oh yeah, that's 100% because of me." And then you pop up with this shit. This is gore.
Oh, don't worry, it gets better.
This is gore of my comfort character. I don't know
Don't
what
worry,
to do.
it's okay. It gets better because, you know, as poor little Napster's bleeding out on the ground.
Oh my god!
As poor little Napster sits there no longer living, somebody walks by and sees this poor little cat. This poor bald man looks at this dying cat, and he is so shocked and sad, but he kind of saw it coming. He saw this one coming because, little known fact, he was actually a big fan of this little cat. He used to probably listen to music for all we knew. And looking at this sad little cat, he got an idea, a really good idea. What if this wasn't illegal? What if there was a platform where you could stream music and it's legal and the music companies don't hate you for it? So he thought, maybe that's something I can make one day. But he also realized that he's a broke college student who just dropped out, so he probably can't really make this idea. So he decided to just hold on to it for a bit. You know, maybe just put it away in a closet for a while.
Carry around a dead body. Oh my gosh!
But it's metaphorical, okay? Not literally, okay? Don't you worry. But yes, he's
You're
carrying
literally watching
dead husk.
the blood get dragged around.
Listen, I'm just trying to tell it how it is, okay? This is what he did. And you're probably wondering who this guy is, right? Well, his name is Daniel, Mr. Daniel Ek, a Swedish man who loves to create software from a very young age. And he's been always...
He's serving cunt on the picture on the left-hand side. Like, the way that the light's hitting him, he's got, like, that jawline going. Like, he doesn't have it in the rest of the pictures. But he is catfishing in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Swedish slay.
Oh, yeah, no. PewDiePie is drooling at how handsome this man is. But I should say, honestly, though, his ugliness is on the inside. Because as good as he looks on the outside, this man was a shark when it comes to being a businessman. Because he, even though he was a young man, he did all this in 3 years. He worked at a Swedish company, you know, just to give you a little context, he worked at a little Swedish like auction company that got bought out by eBay. And then he worked for this little game called Stardoll, which he was a CTO of. This was his second job, by the way.
I played Stardoll as a kid. Oh my gosh, we.
Yeah, so he was one of the. Yeah, he was one of the executive members of this game. Apparently,
he's a girly pop. He's a girly pop.
He do be a girly pop. He was dressed to impressing before girls and dressed to impress existed. You know?
Yes. Yes, slay.
And obviously, during that time, while he was actually working at this company, he decided, you know what? I want to make my own business. So he spun off as a little side hustle. He made a marketing agency or advertising agency called Advergo. I mean, there really wasn't much about it, but all I know is that it made him really fucking rich. As in, literally by the age of 23, he sold that company he made and became a millionaire. So
at 23?
At 23,
and you and I are sitting here at 24. Broke as fuck.
Almost 25 for me. Yeah, it's a sad fact of life, which is why you guys need to subscribe, because we at least want $1,000, okay? Or even 1,000 subscribers. That'd be nice.
It would be nice to have vague amounts of money.
It would be nice to pay rent, guys.
It would be nice to pay rent.
Well, unlike us, Mr. Daniel Ek over here was not struggling. If anything, he was having a good time enjoying himself, because honestly, at his age, he accomplished everything he wanted to. But that idea still sat in the back of his mind. He just needed the right partner. And wouldn't you know it, another Swedish man named Martin Lortenzon, how you ever pronounce his name. This guy was actually was a part of the board of the company that actually bought his advertising agency. So him and Daniel were actually getting pretty buddy-buddy. And Martin over here rubbed Mr. Daniel's shoulder and he's like, hey, you know, I kind of like your style, buddy. You got like any interesting business ideas? Like, what's next for you? And well, you know, Daniel over here just finally getting some men attention. He's like, well, I mean, I did have like this idea like years ago. Like, I mean, it's still somewhere in my closet, but I thought about like, you know, the dead Napster cat. And I thought, what if we did that, but like better? And Martin was like, God damn, that's a great idea.
I'm gonna need you to pause right there. I love this picture of Ek just blushing, but the eyes have him staring down Martin's balls. Just staring down his balls while he's talking about cats. This is a basic like Discord Reddit love story right here.
I made sure that I made this as visually engaging as possible. I'm sure if I just drew some giant balls on Martin's like between his legs, it would have been 10 times better. But I didn't want us to get demonetized too soon. Okay?
No, but if you make him like, I think what are the Japanese raccoons with the giant big balls, tanukis. If you make it like a tanuki, then it's totally fine. It's just culture.
Oh yeah,
it's just culture.
I'll make his nose the giant monkey with the penis-shaped nose. I'll do that too. You know, I'll do it for next time. Next time. Big red baboon butt too while we're at it. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
But yeah, so Daniel was like, yo, this idea. And Martin's like, you are a genius. And I think I know the right people. Because apparently Martin has some connects to the big three. So they get to work.
Whoa.
They start negotiating some deals. They start talking to these little boys. Or should I say big music boys.
Little boys.
I mean, they look little in the picture, but in actuality, they could literally crush you in like one lawsuit.
You could have literally not said boys.
Boys, okay? I gotta go with the boys. But as you can see here, Martin and Mr. Daniel, the Viking that he is, went in, negotiated some deals. Now, mind you, these were not some easy deals to negotiate. I'm simplifying this and also explaining all this context for a good reason, because these guys made sure that these agreements were fucking always in their favor, because they made sure that they got 30% of all the revenue that Spotify made, and they didn't even know if this was even going to work. So they were going at this completely blind. All they had was an idea and hoping to God that they could find a way to make money. And guess what? 2 years later, in 2008, Spotify was eventually born. A nice little baby Spotify. And they were very proud of this achievement.
I'm very glad that there was no weird impreg in between slide. After seeing literal gore, I wouldn't have put you past impreg. This is very tame. I appreciate that you did not traumatize the entire audience and I.
Listen, I have a line in the sand, okay? I have standards here, okay? I'm not trying to create softcore porn on this podcast. I'm trying to tell a very engaging love story.
That is such BS. I would say at least a third of our episodes are softcore porn. That is why I can't. My family will not watch it. I try to show it to my family. They will not watch it.
Hey, listen, sex sells, baby.
Rightfully so.
Sex sells, baby. You know it better than I do. You know better than I do.
As you were saying.
Yes, as I was saying. So, Mr. Spotify has been born. A little app that we all know and love. But the funny part is that I probably forgot to mention about this app is that when they did negotiate these deals with these music companies, they actually, funnily enough, ironically enough, when they made the app prototype, they actually had to pirate all the songs so they can put it on the app to show it as a proof of concept. So they actually, ironically, had to pirate all the music.
Piracy for the win.
They had to pirate it all.
Piracy for the win.
So for what Napster died for, it didn't die in vain, okay? Its last hurrah was at the last pitch meeting. But they obviously cleaned everything up, and now little baby's here. But little do they know, this little child is going to be the Antichrist, because holy hell, this bitch is going to put them and the industry through so much pain. Because the problem is that, hey, it did really well over the years, but it didn't really make a lot of money. It was losing money for the longest time, which I guess is the common story for most businesses. But this is a little different, because with Spotify, let's just say that they did a lot of controversial things to try to get their money up. Because, as you know, they are at the beck and call of the music labels. Why else do you think there's been so much controversy with Taylor Swift and all these artists? Because funnily enough, once you know it, they don't really get paid all too well. This is literally the chart of how much they used to get paid per stream. Look how high it was. It was almost 7.5 cents per stream in 2012. But literally every year, it just went down until it's literally almost less than 3 cents.
But I guess it still adds up though. If you get enough streams, you still get enough revenue. But when you're giving 30% to all these companies, there were 3 companies right there. It was 30%, 30%, 30%, which leaves you with 10% left. Of course it was going to look like this.
Well, that's what the company's taking too, right? And on top of that, yes, the music labels are super, super predatory towards Spotify, but it's worse because Spotify propagates this entire thing, right? And at the time, it makes sense because they were the little guy, but now they're the big guy. Because let me show you something else, right? A lot of artists here, big artists, she invested $100,000 into her album. This video went viral a few weeks ago. She only made $350 from this entire from the entire thing from Spotify. And also she got a little less than $3,000 for some other deals that she did with this album. She made hardly any money because of how bad Spotify's monetization is. And it gets worse because it's the fact of they're so hell-bent on trying to make money that they literally are one of the worst in terms of like a revenue per stream. I mean, you can see YouTube is pretty bad, but that's only because it's like YouTube is like, you think it's bad, but it's not as bad as you think it is.
Is Xbox one of the best?
Which is very weird. I don't know why the hell Xbox Live, I don't even know Xbox Live Music was a thing, but it's a thing.
I feel like the last time that existed was when Xbox 360 was a thing. I don't think it's a thing anymore. Or is it?
I honestly couldn't tell you. Xbox 360 is not a thing anymore, but I don't know that Xbox Live Music was a thing. I think this is just an old chart. This is the only chart I could find. You're gonna cooperate.
Live music.
Live fact check. Live fact check incoming. If it's actually still a thing, I would literally scream if it was.
To listen to music on Xbox. No, I don't think it is. Now you pretty much download Spotify or Apple Music from the store.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy though. I'm an Xbox girly through and through. So if I would almost quit piracy if it meant that I could be like, yeah, I use Xbox to listen to all of my music.
Yeah, it's honestly so annoying. If I listen to Xbox music, I would never want to ever go near music again if that was the case. If I was listening to it on Xbox. If I was listening to it on Xbox.
It would be such a flex.
That'd be
a real gamer moment. No, it would be a real gamer moment.
Well, what I will say is the money is bad across the board, right? When it comes to revenue per stream. And I was saying earlier, YouTube is bad because this is, if you have a video attached to it, it can still be eligible for bigger and larger sums of money. But as you can see, like Spotify is just kind of following the trend, right? Which kind of makes you think, even though they're the biggest on the platform, they have the most influence when it comes to streaming music. They still don't try to help the artist. And here's the worst thing. This is the most recent stuff that has been happening that actually made me decide to cancel my Spotify subscription. So, I found out that a lot of small artists get completely fucked over by AI. And it's not in the way you would expect. So imagine that you made a song. Imagine you made a song and you poured your heart and soul into it, right? And you put it on Spotify. How easy do you think it is to post your stuff on Spotify?
I'd assume it's as simple as popping in the MP3 and uploading it.
Incorrect. So if you want to put your music onto any sort of platform like Apple Music, or like the big ones at least, Apple Music, onto Amazon Music, and onto like Spotify, you need to go through what they call a distribution label, which is the only way you could upload your music. And the reason being is because music is super gatekept. They want to make sure the barrier to entry is very low compared to like YouTube. They don't want your apps to be full of trash music, right? That's their whole philosophy behind it. And it's also because, let's say, for example, you're on Instagram or TikTok and you type in a song name, all these distribution companies, they actually put that data into these systems in the back end. So your music shows up. So they're doing all that sort of stuff. And a really popular one is like DistroKid. It's a very popular distribution service. The thing that sucks though, is that they are horrible when it comes to communication. And funnily enough, DistroKid is actually partially owned by Spotify. So when you pay to put your music on, it's like Spotify is always there because this is one of the most popular ones. And Spotify's always there with their little hand, their little dark shadowy hand, meddling in your business because they're always there. And what happened to a lot of people?
Like a monopoly?
Honestly speaking,
monopoly moment.
I wouldn't even call them a monopoly because they have to be aggressive because they're such a sensitive business. The only amount they made money is like literally like last year. That's the first time they ever made money was last year. They're super fragile of a business.
That is so crazy to me. Like when you showed that chart of when they earn money, I was astonished because I feel like Spotify was just like such a big thing. Even I have used Spotify a little bit. I prefer piracy, but I did use Spotify at some point. That chart is literally insane. Insane to me.
Exactly. I mean, don't forget that they also spent a lot of money on like just licensing, but that's besides the point. Going back to the whole like thing that sucks about Spotify and just everything in general is that like when it comes to being an independent artist, you need these little distribution websites to actually be able to submit your music. But on the platforms, right? Like especially on Spotify, they will make sure that they don't want to have any botting or whatnot. But what happens is on the platform is that you can upload a song, right? And if somebody doesn't like your music per se, they could spam it with bots, AI views, AI streams, basically, or like, basically robots streaming your song. And it's great in the moment because you think you're doing really well. But if Spotify suspects you of it, they will kick you. And the worst part is even though you're not responsible for it, they will delete your music, delete all your music.
Wow.
Even if you don't even know what's happening, they will delete your music, especially for a small artist. And since you're small, you don't have any connections to Spotify. You have no direct contact unless you're signed to the big record labels, the big three that can actually do all this and have direct contact with Spotify. You can't do jack shit. And so many artists have lost their music, their livelihoods, because they decide one day, yeah, you've been flagged for artificial streaming and tracks. And the worst part is that the way that it happens is that there are these companies out there, a lot of these predatory companies. And this is something that a creator called Venus Siri talks about. He flags a lot what these companies do. They promote saying like, hey guys, we will help you get you more streams as an artist on Spotify and all these other platforms by putting you in these very specific playlists. If you didn't know, like Spotify has a lot of these like kind of pre-made playlists sometimes made by users, but a lot of them are made by companies that are exploiting this system. Because what you can do is you can pay yourself to put on whatever these like crazy little playlists are, and these companies are flooding these playlists with fake streams, which flags you. And obviously, companies will use that to kind of promote and get money out of young artists. Again, AI targeting and algorithm music promotion, they'll get flagged. But then people who get mad at you will put you in these AI playlists to try to take you down and your music. And
that is worst so part, screwy.
Right. And this even worse, by the way, and this is Spotify system specifically. Now, let's imagine, by the way, you are a fan of this said artist. Okay, let's say you're a fan of a very small artist and you get a notification that they uploaded a new track. But then you listen to it and you're like, the song seems off. Why does this song not sound like the artist? It's because it is somebody else using their name, tagging them as a main or featured artist on this song without their consent. Main artist consent. You get no notification of it.
So these artists, like we can see with Kara here, like she uploaded her song. Spotify deleted it because they saw it as fake. But there are ways that people are putting a fake version of the song up and tagging her or tagging artists, being like, hey, this is the song. Like, how is that possible? If a real artist has to jump through all these hoops, how is that fake stuff coming through?
That's the thing. There is no protection against them. And Spotify, you see it, they are a market leader. They are literally one of the biggest streaming services for music, and they have nothing to do. They have no protection. And this is actually across the entire industry. It's not just Spotify, but Spotify is literally a role model. Why can't they change things? It was different beforehand. They could be an example now, yet they choose not to. The CEO instead chooses to do other things, which I'll talk about in a second. But what exactly? Let me clarify that. This lady's Kara's album basically got taken down because there were some other copyright issues that happened in the background, right? A lot of copyright issues that happened in the background. But you could see like as well, like how much money she made over spending $100,000. She only made $1,000 back. Like she didn't even make half of the money back, barely, on like this entire album. And when it comes to like the quote unquote like issues with the songs being taken down or her songs getting added onto her own tracks, people can literally just decide if they want to feature her and put her name attached to a song that she has no clue that it even exists. Because it happened in this one here. She made a whole thing about how literally random people, bad actors, can make really trash songs or really offensive songs and then tie your name to it, and you can't control it. They could just do it without you even knowing.
Wow.
Right. It's like, imagine like you know, the way she explains it is imagine you're on Instagram, right? And instead of like someone tagging you or adding you as a collaborator, someone literally makes a pinned post on your account without your consent, and it's like something fucked up, and you can't control it. Because this is literally the song right here, Underwater DJ Dookie remix. Who the fuck is DJ Dookie? She didn't approve of this. It's so stupid.
That is fucked. There's no other explanation for it. That is just screwed up that DJ Dookie could just come onto your album and drop a deuce and nothing happens.
Exactly. And yes, you could put down a takedown request, but that takes time. And on top of that, like, why aren't you allowed to just like decide yes or no if you are wanting to have this on your thing. So a very simple solution to this is like, hey, get like an email about it and be like, do you know you've just been tagged or added to the song as a main artist? Do you reject or accept it? You give the artist full permission to decide what you want to do or what you don't want to do. It makes it so much easier, but they choose not to. If anything, Spotify, as a software company, has probably some of the worst dashboards I've ever seen in my entire life. We have uploaded our podcast to the Creator Hub on Spotify, our episodes. It is so clunky and so garbage. It is so glitchy, and I hate it. And it's the same story with the entire app in general. The entire app is so badly and crudely made. It makes you wonder, what the fuck are they doing? What is this CEO doing? Like, Daniel, I looked into you so much, I thought there was more. And it turns out there is. Mr. Daniel, your little baby, I don't think you care about your baby, Mr. Daniel. I think you care about something else. Because, you see, the one reason people are not very much a fan of Daniel right now as the CEO is because he's done a lot of controversial things, right? I think one of the biggest ones was platforming Joe Rogan. People were really pissed off about that. People didn't like that he keeps bumping up the price. And like, as we're saying, they're just going to do another price hike next year. But another big one was that he invested in an AI warfare defense company in the EU.
Huh?
He basically, it is a AI powered like company or AI powered like combat to like look at this, look at this website. They got like torpedoes and missiles. Yes, look, AI powered. Look at that jet said AI powered on its tail fin. Now in a vacuum. In a vacuum, it's like, okay, I mean, the logical conclusion of, I guess, life is that I guess we're making AI warfare now. I guess we're in the Call of Duty era, infinite warfare zone. But the fact that Mr. Daniel, Spotify man, is like, I'm going to invest almost $1 billion into this company is very shady. And publicly doing it, as a matter of fact, is not a good look. Brother, you're supposed to be making the tunes be bopping. Why are you investing in this?
That is wild. You're just like sitting there listening to like Pink Pony Club, and little do you know that money's going towards AI militant weaponry.
Exactly. And it's not even just that. Actually, a lot of like even the data that Spotify's taking could even also be contributing to this. You don't know. Like, we don't know what they're doing with the data for all we know. Like, that's what I mean by like, there's so many things about Spotify that seem off. Like, I feel like every turn of the way, they could make the right choice, but he chooses to do things out of his own self-interest or things that are not in the good like choice of the company. So it makes me wonder, did he really want this idea for the fact of helping the artists, or was it because he wanted that money? Makes you wonder. I mean, how else do you become a millionaire at 23 unless you sell your soul to the Spotify devil? And the worst part is,
yeah, I guess so.
And the worst part is, like, this isn't even scratching the surface of the amount of shit that Spotify is basically trying to do. Because on top of, like, you know, AI, on the topic of that, they've also been seen to put AI streamers, AI artists on Spotify to pump their view numbers, to pump their user numbers.
Jefferson Pedersen.
Yeah, Jefferson Pedersen is like, or you mean Peterson? You said
Pedersen.
Pedersen.
Edward
Hurley, Alvaro Cantu. As you can see, like, this is all like AI music. And like, again, like, I'm actually going to put a like quick line in the sand. I actually don't mind AI music if it's intended for a specific reason, because I do have a service that I use called Brain FM, which I actually low-key like think it's really good, because I need music that is just droning when I'm trying to work, like just droning simple music that I don't have to think about and change. That's what AI is good for. Dumb, easy, repetitive stuff. And if you're going to make dumb, easy, repetitive music, I think it's like, whatever. I don't care. As long as I can it helps me get into focus mode. That's all that matters in certain things. But when I want to listen to music for the sake of listening to something and engaging in a piece of art, I will do that. I will turn to that. But this makes it seem like real people are posting songs on the platform. And it is very deceiving.
Yeah. I do think AI has its time and its place. I think for repetitive music, there are plenty of artists who do like good repetitive music. I think where AI sometimes goes right is when they make playlists. Like, they're still giving the credit to the creator, but they make playlists and set that up. I think that's a way that it could be used. But to have whole artists that are just completely AI, it reminds me of like one of my favorite shows, Carol and Tuesday, where this is pretty much the exact plot. It's in the future, and all music has been taken over by like AI and algorithms, and every song is like a scientifically perfect level. It's all robotic. But the two main characters, Carol and Tuesday, they are like the two first artists ever that make human man-made music. And with a little hard work, they end up skyrocketing, because at the end of the day, you can never replace that. You can never replace human communication.
I 100% agree. And I was just going to show this quick little thing I use, Brain FM, not sponsored, but I really do like it. They do use AI generation in their music, and I think they've been pretty transparent about it. But it's like,
throw tomatoes at that clanker user.
Says the one who wants to fuck them.
Hey, you know what? Fucking is a valid reason to use robots. It's dehumanizing.
And me wanting to just have science-backed music so I can just have my brain not be stupid is nice too. Like, look at this. The first music made for ADHD. I mean, I don't know if it's actually true, but like, I know it does help me. It helps, so I use it. If it helps me, I am going to use it. But I don't care. I do care that if AI music is being used to replace artists, that is where it becomes bad.
I think ultimately that's a universal agreement, is that if you are replacing artists with AI, that's no bueno.
Exactly. And this is, at the end of the day, why I genuinely jumped ship from Spotify, is that they just don't seem to even care about their own platform. It's like they don't care about making it better. They don't care about like making the experience a better like experience at all. Like, there was literally a whole video I watched from this like graphic designer or UI designer who like revamped the entire thing, and I'm like, wow, I wish they would do this. Now there's a whole video explaining how to basically remake the entire UI. But guess what? They're never gonna fucking change it because they all suck. Whoever works there, I'm sorry, but you guys don't seem like you know what you're doing. I don't know what it is. Please get a new UI designer, get a new everything designer, get a new whole team, get a new CEO. Spotify ain't worth it. And especially when they have so much power.
Designs.
Oh yeah, she will do all your designs. She'll put giant tits right at the corner of Spotify.
Whoa. I can do more than tits. Okay. I can draw penises as well.
Exactly, because you can make Mr. David a little penis head. That'd be nice. That'd be a little nice.
That'd be crazy.
Mind. But like, look at this. Like, look how much simpler and cleaner they can make this. Look, this is her name is Juxtapose. Super amazing channel. I love them. Literally adjusting a few things just to make the user experience a little bit better. Like, look at this. Like, the UI is horrible. I don't like the Spotify UI. It's so annoying. But this kind of leaves us with one big question. Where do we go? What is the point? What else can we go to? Right? Because here's one thing. I would say bye to Spotify. Fuck you. I've moved on from Spotify. But for the majority of people, I feel like it's not, you have very limited options now when it comes to music, because when it comes to streaming, as we saw, if you're trying to support the artist, a lot of them kind of suck. Even Tidal is actually a artist first focused, like, music streaming service, but even they pay like shit, apparently, not much better, at least. So it becomes like a whole issue of, okay, well, if I want to enjoy music, I feel like the cat's already out of the bag. It's like everyone already likes streaming. Not a lot of people are going to want to go back to physical media. And I think the only other option, if you're trying to save money, is piracy. But I think there has to be a happy middle ground.
Piracy. Honestly, I think the happy middle ground is pirate the music that you want to listen to and support the artist through purchasing like their merchandise. If they have like a Patreon or any other donation like capabilities, because at those points, you know that the money's going directly to them. Because I feel like that's one of the two reasons why I feel justified with piracy is A, I can enjoy music made by bad people and sit there knowing I'm not actually supporting them though. So I don't mind this. And then the second is that I know when I do want to support an artist, I can do so purposefully and intentionally and try to generate for them what would be the most revenue for them, whether it's buying their physical stuff, buying a shirt, buying a concert ticket, so on and so forth.
It is that, and also another website that people have been gravitating towards is Bandcamp. I think that's like another amazing place that people can go to support your favorite artists, especially if you have the money.
I think the last time I heard about this was like in college.
But
this is what all the music majors use.
But apparently it's where a lot of people are going to. And like, it's funny because I was looking at some of like other creators and they were comparing how much money they made on Bandcamp versus Spotify in like a short amount of time. Like this, he made a song he made a track. Literally, he uploaded it on Bandcamp or on Spotify. He earned like less than like $3,000 in 3 years. On Bandcamp, he earned $5,000 in like a few weeks. Like
that's
the difference.
Crazy.
Here, 3 years, $2,000. 7 days, $2,000.
Wow.
Crazy because you know why? Because Bandcamp isn't nearly as egregious and there is no like music distribution in the middle to take the cut because these streaming services are all partnered with these large streaming services. Bandcamp doesn't really do that. And they also, funnily enough, I found out, by the way, Bandcamp was actually bought by Epic Games, aka the Fortnite company. They were owned at one point. At one point they were, but then they got sold and bought again by some other company that is more focused on music and building the music community. So Bandcamp is thankfully in a safe territory. But it just comes to show that like a lot of these companies, they are getting bought and sold and tossed around these smaller companies all the time. And it's hard to find a place for your music, which I think at the end of the day, I think, at least for me, what I've chosen as my new, music streaming service of choice is kind of YouTube Music. Because the best thing about it is at least it's already something I pay for. So it's already something I have. It is really no different than Spotify. Like it honestly is very similar to Spotify. And on top of that, I get all my music. I get other music that I would have otherwise not been able to get access to on Spotify because half the time on Spotify anyways, sometimes there are songs that are just not here. I'm sure that even Robyn, even your kind of music, Robyn, the one that your little mashups like Gold Digger, that'll all be here. All that goofy little mashup stuff you like will all be on YouTube. And the best part is that YouTube actually cares, I think, about the artist. At least from what they've been showing, even though when in the last episode we talked about on YouTube was us yelling at YouTube. Literally just the other day, they created some tools that are really in support of the creator. And I think there's not many companies out there that truly support creatives. And I think YouTube is one of the few that actually do. As money hungry as they are, and as much as they hate ad block, they at least try. But Spotify, don't even try. They be sniffing their own farts. I think at the
very least, they at least give tools to creators to create. So they can at least get on the platform, even if they're not earning a lot or anything at all. Compared to Spotify, where it sounds like you have to go through so many hoops to even get your song on there, only for it to possibly be deleted.
Right. And the crazy part is, though, is like a lot of the issues, I really think Spotify could have been something good. I mean, acting like it's dead. It can be something good. It can be good because if it was actually led by somebody who truly cared, maybe perhaps Mr. Martin over here has to come in from wherever he is in Swedish land and, take control. I think that'd be nice if he came back and just helped out a little bit, maybe took away Daniel's little crazy AI rocket powered bullshit away from him instead and show some actual respect to artists. But we'll see. But I think in general, right, when it comes to just the platform, like it started with good intentions. Like they wanted to distribute all this music and they have so much more influence than they did before. They probably could renegotiate contracts with these music labels or at least just make the creator products better. Because you know what the funny thing is? I have a personal actual anecdote because when I went to VidCon, right, I went to go see a Spotify panel because my friend was like telling me to go and I was like, okay, sure, let's go to a Spotify panel. Let's see what it's like. And like, I think one of the product like manager leaders was like one of the really high like level people who work on the product of Spotify was there. Right. And she was like trying to like, talk to us and she was interviewing another creator called Jarvis Johnson. So I got to see Jarvis Johnson sitting there talking to her about like all the stuff that he's been doing it with his podcast, like Sad Boys. And I was like, oh, cool. I get to hear like firsthand, like what they're doing and like maybe they can take some feedback. I wanted to ask a few questions to her, but as soon as I was about to, she just fucking ran off. Like I didn't get a chance to speak to her at all. It's like she was talking about how they take feedback, yet Jarvis was the one that was asking questions and like talking to us rather than the lady who was there yapping about Spotify. And
that's so weird.
The entire conversation, it just felt like it rung hollow. Like it was stuff that I was like, yeah, of course, this is like the basic, most easy way of understanding what Spotify is. Because now what they're trying to do is trying to compete with YouTube. And I'm like, you can do that. I'm sure I understand why they're doing it. Like they're adding audiobooks now. Like they have like all these other things that they're adding to the service, like music, audiobooks, now YouTube content too. Like that's why you see people re-uploading YouTube videos now onto Spotify, because they're really just trying to compete with YouTube. And it's a completely different like space compared to YouTube, because, funnily, if you have to pay for Spotify if you want to get anything out of it. But who knows? Maybe they're going to change that, unless you have to pay $12 a month.
I did see something recently that now Spotify, for like the free users, it allows you to like, I think like select the music, and it doesn't like just give it like randomly or something like that. And I know that was something that was gapped behind like that subscription service and stuff like that. But I feel like so many of these music platforms, they're just like not user friendly ever. And that's why like quickly I was just turned off by them, because I was like, I would rather go through the effort of having to find this music myself, download it myself, encrypt it myself, so that I can choose whatever song I want to listen to at any time too. At any time, because I would always listen to music on like long road trips or something like that, and I want to be able to access my music in the middle of nowhere. And Spotify, Pandora, other companies like this, they're just not accessible. It's always randomized. It's always not working if like I'm on an airplane or in the middle of nowhere. Like there should be no reason to fight to listen to music.
You know what the interesting thing is, right? In a funny way, piracy actually makes you more attached to the music. And even then, buying physical media, because this older fella here that I watched this video for, he also like argued why streaming kind of made music so bad. It's because like of how accessible it is. It just devalues the value. It just devalues the meaning behind the songs, right? Because I think in social media in general, right, you're like consume my product, consume my baby no money music. And that's kind of like, why music is, I think nowadays has become so devalued, why streams are so low. Don't, please, that song's too good. Please stop. The Jersey Club music is going to be bopping in my head.
No, I don't know who he's been cosplaying. I think it's a Borderlands character, but it's like a woman with a top hat and tits. And I sit there and I watch his latest short where I guess like he's using a clip from the game, and it's like a sexual innuendo one. And I was like, BB, no money, don't do this to me. I will bend you over right now. Yes, that's who he's been Moxie. He's been cosplaying her. And he like did like a sexual innuendo like thing where it was like, I wish I could remember what the joke was, but it was something along the lines of like, the punchline was bend me over. And everyone in the comments, including me, were like, BB, no money, don't do this to us. We will bend you over. Come here.
Papi chulo, come here, papi. But
well,
besides us thirsting over Baby No Money, I was gonna say that. Like,
at least the 10th of this podcast is thirsting over BB No Money.
Yeah, I think that, I'm telling you, this is why we need you guys to like and subscribe and even maybe drop a hype or whatever the hell that thing is. We still don't know what it does. So Mr. Baby No Money can join us on the podcast. He would do it if we were cool enough. So make us cooler. We're demanding it.
We're pretty cool. I think we're pretty cool.
Well, people have to know we're cool, okay? It doesn't matter if we're not known, okay? Unless you want to be like the indie rock scene. It's like,
I am gaslighting myself. BB No Money already listens to us. He 100% listens to us. I'm gaslighting myself. There's no way he does not regularly listen to our podcast. He just doesn't comment. And I think he should start commenting and liking so we know that he's there.
Yes. So, Mr. Baby No Money, just leave a little $sign down below if you really care. Just let us know.
Leave a $sign.
One day it'll happen. One day we'll know. Anyways, the point of music, right? When you pirate music, it's like, funnily enough, in a very weird way, you are way more like connected to the music because like, if you think about it, people pirate things, not because they don't want to pay someone. It's because they can't pay someone to like get access to it. Like, why do you think people that like
went to Netflix me broke?
No, it's just that it's expensive, and you are a penny pincher. Nothing wrong with that. I'm also a little bit of a penny pincher. We all are a little, in these trying times.
I think at least my rationale with piracy, I think yes, I sit there and I'm like, why am I paying for something that I should just have access to, point blank period? But I think like a big element for me, and this is to your point of it makes you closer to the music, is that I can really curate the songs that I like. I don't have to deal with a whole album if I only like a few of the songs. Or I can organize it in a specific way that makes more sense. And also, I know that if I play shuffle on my car, it is only going to be music that I enjoy, that I listen to, whether it is BB No Money, whether it's Poppy, whether it's Bloodywood, whether it's that one Carl Weezer song that you made for like a Fiverr thing. Like, I know that no matter what, I'm going to be listening to songs that mean a lot to me. And it's an investment. It might not be an investment of money, but it's an investment of time.
Exactly. And it's also that investment of time that also, like, to get to the music is what makes people interested in wanting to engage with it. Like what this old fellow was trying to mention was that, like, when you're trying to get access to like an album, you have to earn money to buy the physical album, and then you got to actually put it in the thingy. That's why people, I think, now are switching over to like more analog stuff. Like I've seen like stuff on TikTok, or I don't really watch TikTok, but I saw like little screenshots of people doing like oh, what is it, like detox, but instead of a detox, it's like old, like they go to vintage like media and they try to like dumbify stuff.
If I had my own apartment, I would start a record collection, because I think vinyl records are so cool. And personally, like, my dream, if any like rich man or woman wants to fund me in my lifestyle, I love collecting old technology. I have my mom's old original Atari that we restored. I keep all of my old DS's and I try to take care of them. I have like the original Xbox, and I want to get into records for the same reason. I think all this old technology is so great, and I think more and more people are trying to disconnect. I am seeing only more and more videos about people switching to flip phones, and I am slowly getting to the point where I might want to switch to a flip phone, at least for daily use, and sort of have my phone on the side. No, not like a Samsung flip phone.
Oh, we got a flip phone. Hey,
Nokia, Nokia. How you been? Like HBU.
Yeah, these classic ones.
Or like a black. Yes, exactly. And I've heard a lot of people switching to that, and a lot of people talking about how it's like a flex to like have records, to read books, to have flip phones. And I think it's because of companies like Spotify. I think these money hungry companies like Spotify, like YouTube, are slowly driving away their user base. Of course, I don't think it's extreme enough where the company's going to collapse tomorrow, but I would say give it 10 to 20 years. I think they're going to be gone because they've driven away everyone.
Well, I hope YouTube stays, at least. You know, I kind of like, you know, I don't mind it here so far.
Okay.
I hope they don't die.
Well, we can
we've talked. I already talked about how much they've already been sucking last time. But they truly are one of the better ones, I would say. They're one of the better evils. My bro, Neil Mohan, Indian Brethren, come on, man. We love you. Please don't ban me. I tried calling you. Why didn't you pick up last time?
No. Yeah, honestly, we are very offended.
I'm going to call him on a flip phone now. Maybe he switched to a flip phone.
If you call him on a flip phone and a new yeah, maybe he just blocked your number. And if you switch the number, then you can get to him.
All right, I'm calling him on a flip phone when I buy it.
At all.
About to buy a flip phone as we speak, so I can do a call to the CEO of YouTube again, see if it works. And if he rejects me, I will go angry and close the phone on him, because now I have that power if I have a flip phone. The aura that I will be farming, closing the phone on his stupid voice. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think ultimately, even like parents, they're getting landlines that connect to a cell phone so that they have like the capability to call their friends without getting addicted to a phone and stuff like that. I think people are trying to pull away, because I think ultimately it's all a fad. none of this was necessary. And now we're all sitting here like it's the 1950s and we're addicted to cocaine, and the FDA is sitting here like, why are you doing this? No.
I would say that, like, I think that we're the direction we have, like, I think that it's almost impossible to go back fully to like these kind of style of phones or like these older phones, because all of our lives are so ingrained now, like in GPS. Like, how the fuck are you going to find out how to go home? I think it's just easier to just simplify the phone you already have. Like I did. I literally made my phone super, super simple. I mute all my notifications. I have nothing. I'm a horrible texter. Try getting back to me. Never will I'll be able to text you back on time. And like I make sure, like, also my phone's in black and white, but I made it very aesthetic. So it's like I made it black and white, but I made it look nice. So it still feels like I'm doing the typical iPhone shenanigans, while also just trying to find a way to not get as sucked into my phone. Oh yeah, I also put a lot of screen time limits that I don't know the password to. Like those are the real strategies you got to do if you're trying to get away from your phone. But the companies definitely aren't helping because they want your money. They want your attention. This is why we all hate Spotify. Okay, that's why delete Spotify if you are subscribed to it. Subscribe to us instead,
and
because it's
start
free.
pirating.
Well, maybe only pirate if you want. I mean, only pirate if you can't afford it, I would say. But if you can,
pirate if you can afford it. Screw the industry. Your artists aren't making any money anyway, as we saw. Piracy is the way to go. Start pirating music and start buying more t-shirts.
You're right. You know what? Doodle Heads dildos coming right up to you know, get us and support us. That's merch, you know? Imagine.
Honestly, a Doodle Heads dildo would go crazy. It would be like that line of alien dildos.
No!
We would have one that's yours, a fun little alien dildo, and then we would have one that's mine, which would obviously be bigger than yours, because we know that I'm bigger
That is
than you.
offensive. I am taken aback you would ever say that. You know what? We'll have to talk about this later. But for now, if you guys enjoyed me yapping about Spotify and enjoyed Robyn embracing her pirate side even more, be sure to, you know, watch another episode, because we got a lot of those. You know, we got a lot more coming out. So please,
honestly, pirate our podcast so you can listen to it whenever you want.
Hey, yeah, go for it. We're not going to stop you. We're not even monetized right now anyway. So go for it. I'm not going to stop you. So go pirate it and click on the next one. Do it. Do it now. Do it.